Hi, friends. This is Marianne Goldweber. I'm the owner of A Village Personal and Spiritual Development, and this is my Wednesday night spiritual podcast called Marianne's House, where we discuss all kinds of spiritual topics and goings on in the world and how to navigate through this journey with a spiritual perspective. So I use Wednesdays to keep us all inspired, keep us connected during this crazy world that we're living in right now, and just, keeping us contained as a village. So, a village is just a really cool gathering of people that I've met over the longest time, like 30 years now, at least, and longer, professionally. And so, meeting up like this is what we've got right now until we can all get back out in the world and start meeting up on another level. So, let me see who's on here with us tonight, and I look forward to having a nice, lively chat about whatever it is you'd like to talk about. But tonight's topic is about embracing your purpose and, figuring out what that is. And we're in the perfect time for that. We're in the change of the seasons. We're coming out of a year's worth of very challenging times with this pandemic that we've been facing. And our whole world has been going through a bit of a shift and upheaval, which we've talked about in previous videos. So if you guys get a chance, go onto my YouTube channel, which is Marianne Goldweber, and I upload these live videos to YouTube so you can watch them anytime you'd like. So that way we can all get, stay connected and stay inspired, which is not easy when you're on your own. So let's see who gets on here, and I'm looking to talk to you guys. So if you have any questions, just text them on here and I will answer them as we go along. I might even do some random channeling tonight, which I'm looking forward to. I was having some technical difficulties. All these platforms are going through upheavals because they're trying to they're trying to they're doing all kinds of new things to these platforms. So every day is a new learning curve. So that's what I'm up against here, guys. So thanks for bearing with me. Hey, Claire. It's nice to see you guys. And Denise, Jackie, Ralph. Hello, friend. I'm grateful for you guys meeting me on here. Hey, Lori. So, yeah. So what's new, guys? Text it to me. Yeah, we've had an interesting week. So everybody thinks they're losing their mind, okay? And you're not. There's so much going. I say this every single time in case you hadn't noticed. I always say there's so much going on. Astrologically, world shifting, new, systems are ending. Oh my God, there's just so much going on. So it's easy to think that there's something wrong with you and that maybe you're losing your shit, but if we're all doing it, then it's normal, right? So there is some spiritual understanding why behind all these things, and it is a powerful time. Although we've been in it for the long haul, and so yay, go us, we made it. We're still with us, and we've all, some of us have survived, some of us have not, and just staying connected really helps us all remember that we're all in this together. We're all in this together, even though we're not technically together. So anyway, hey, Sarah. I know, right? Losing my shit. That's like that song by REM, Losing My Religion. You ever hear that song? That's one of my favorites. Got my beverage. So hopefully we won't have any more technical difficulties, although my camera went out of focus. That was interesting. So anyway, yeah, what's new with you guys? Let me know. So there's been a lot of weird dreams going on. People aren't sleeping right. We came out of that gigantic new moon a week ago, and now we're going to be going into the full moon. So we should get a little more energy. But boy, that inclement weather today did not help. It kind of threw us back into winter, which, some of us were posting pictures of their sunny yards, and, where I'm at, which is in Ohio, we had about 2 to 3 inches of snow last night. So it was beautiful, though. I mean, it was like a winter wonderland. We didn't have that kind of snow at Christmas. So it was very much, yeah, it took us back a little bit. So that's kind of what we're here for. So embracing our purpose. People ask me all the time, what is my purpose? Well, our purpose is always being divulged to us. So I want to go back to the beginning because what we're doing is right now, especially this time of our world, which has been prophesied, by the way, is this is a great shift. We're ending a 10,000 year cycle, and all the systems, which they call paradigms, are not working anymore. And so we're in a time of evolution where we're going to have to evolve into doing things a new and better, faster, better way. The problem and challenge that we face as humans is humans don't like change. Okay. And because, they live in these little boxes of this is their reality. And so when, you move things around, they don't know what to do because that's all they've done their whole life. And so change is hard. The reason I know most of you guys is because of the changes that you've experienced, whether those changes were thrust upon you as traumatic events, or a death of somebody that you loved, or, just reaching some rite of passage in your own life that was painful. That when you can come through those experiences, knowing that there's purpose in it, that's half the battle. So most of the world had they did not want to awaken. Okay. They wanted things to stay as they were because it was working for them, but it wasn't really. Denial is very painful, actually. You don't even know you're suffering till things change. And then you look back and you guys know this. You look back and you're even grateful for those experiences because you can say, wow, thank God that happened. Because if that didn't happen, all these other amazing, new, wonderful things wouldn't have happened. And so change is painful, and it does create a grief process. And that's really what people have been experiencing over the last year. But we got some diehards who are doing everything in their power to keep things from changing. And guess what? Change is going to happen anyway. They'll pry your bloody fingers off the door jamb to get you to change, whether you like it or not. And the thing is so many people are awakening, and so many people are changing, and so many people are coming together that it's going to make it almost impossible for people to sabotage that now. So, that's where we're getting engaged. So this whole year that you and I have been doing this together. Okay. Now I've been doing this with you guys for a very, very long time, but through this video situation that I've been using while we're in this COVID shutdown, we have talked about and processed so many things, that brought us to new awarenesses since we were finally sitting still. And looking at how we got here. How did we get to this place in my life? How did we get to this place in our world? And we've had these conversations now every week for a year, which I think is amazing. And so, give yourselves a pat on the back because, it's been very challenging for people who've believed a certain thing their whole life or seen the world through a very limited perspective. And, now that these things are shifting, those things aren't working anymore and they're changing. And so, yeah, there's a lot of folks that aren't liking it, but that's okay because I'm just grateful for you guys and that you've been here with me through this, and we've been keeping each other inspired the whole way. So I have to tell you that you guys inspire me just as much as I inspire you because every Wednesday night gives me purpose because of my health issues, because of location and lack of, I spend my entire life with people. So for me, this has been like an unfathomable thing to not be around people and not to be doing all the events and wonderful gatherings and educational classes and, philanthropic work that I do out in the world. This has been very challenging. And just like you, I'm human. I might have, spiritual tools, but there's days where, there doesn't seem to be purpose for any of it. And so, you guys inspire me. You get me dressed and you get me on this thing every Wednesday night. So thank you. Thank you for inspiring me to inspire you. So that's how it works. You get what you give. And you guys are very important to me, so I'm very grateful. Hi, Sarah and Kristen. Christy. I know. Well, that's an arrival, Jackie. Jackie said, I have decided not to worry about things I cannot control. Right. So the thing that wants us to control things is fear. Fear, 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 fear. And the opposite of fear is faith. Okay? So there's a lot of things that go on that aren't in this human world that are working behind the scenes to our advantage. Okay? We all have helpers. We all have this stage crew of things that are helping us through this world. Our world has things that are helping, turn the corner to new and better and more inclusive things. It's about pulling people together, not dividing them apart. Okay, so that's how you kind of got to look at this. So what I've been trying to tell you guys is that the control, the need to control the outcome of things is a futile thing, because we don't have control over how things come out. We hope they turn out a certain way. If we do certain things will happen. But there's also this behind the scenes thing that goes on that doesn't always give us what we want. There is another time that exists other than human time. I always say divine time. Not in Marianne Goldweber's time, which is, between 8 and 5. But there's a divine time that flows. It doesn't have the same linear understanding of time as we know it as a rotation of the earth around the sun and blah, blah, blah. So time and having control has been probably the hardest thing for a lot of people to learn, is that there are things that we cannot predict. There are things that that are awful, that are happening. But as I always tell you guys, there's always destruction before construction. Things have to fall apart. When you guys say your life is falling apart, well, I think there was an illusion of it being together. And so when it falls apart, that's when we lose control. That's when we've lost control over what we thought we were controlling. And so when things come apart, you and I both know that apart is not necessarily a bad thing. So imagine that everybody's spinning these plates on sticks, and they're running back and forth trying to navigate and keep them all spinning. Well, they start to wobble, and you start to get tired, and you can't spin all these plates anymore, and so they start to wobble and crash. Okay, well, the fear is the crash. That we're going to lose control of these plates. Well, you're going to lose control anyway, because that's the illusion. You can't keep that up forever. And so when those plates hit that floor and crash and scatter and make a mess, guess what? You don't have to spin the plates anymore. Okay? And now all we got to do is clean it up, and that's the hard part, is the destruction that comes with letting go of the need to control. All this craziness that you've been taught is important. But once it all crashes, then you don't have to do that anymore, which is so empowering to know that I don't have to do half the crazy stuff that I used to do. And it was futile anyway. And so now we clean it up, and now we decide, well, what do we want to do? So this is where we stop and we look at, well, why did I do that? How did I learn that? Who taught me that? Because that is not normal, okay, or usual. And so, we've all been conditioned by things in life that have taught us the rules, okay? So whether those rules are from culture, from society, from gender, from religion, familial conditioning, all these people taught us all these crazy rules that got us to spin all these plates on sticks and forgot to tell us that, oh, I'm sorry, but that it stops working eventually, okay? And so we're not prepared for that. So now that we've had this crash, we've had a crash in so many different areas of the world in our life. Now we're going to stop and say, what did I learn from that? So where did I learn that from? Why was I doing that? Okay. And how do I not do that anymore? Okay. That's the trick, is not going back to that illusion of doing or balancing, all that. That's not even balancing. Okay, balancing is maybe one plate, one stick, at a time. And so that's what we're doing, is we're stopping and really assessing, how do we get here? how did I get here where I am right this second? Given the circumstances around me, what am I learning from this? And so when we really stop and really assess ourselves or look at ourselves, you know, we want to look at, wow, I'm resilient. What are my strengths that I've found through this time? That I'm a very spiritual person. I have a lot of talents. I'm creative. I'm great with people. I'm all these wonderful things. Because we're so easy that we look at our our character defects, but we don't always look at what are our strengths. What are the strengths that I bring to the table? So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about tonight. Is how do we find our purpose? Well, I wish our purpose was one burning thing, but it's not. The whole point of being here and coming in this human body as a spiritual being is so that we can learn and we can experience this life. The challenge is that we've been spent so much of it suffering and trying to live up to these unrealistic expectations through these systems that we've been taught that we haven't been really living, we've been existing, and this time of our world, this pandemic that's showed up has really forced us into this stillness of assessing what's really important. What have I learned from all this? Well, I've learned that I really need and love people. That my purpose is people and helping them just see themselves and live their best version. I mean, I love doing that, and I work for the other side. I love doing spiritual work. I love the wow. I love watching people awaken. And so again, this is a wonderful time for us to really just stop because nothing's in our control right now. Things are not moving right now, guys. So that's the madness. That's why we've been having these crazy dreams. That's why we've been feeling frustrated because we're like, yay, spring's here. Yay. We're almost there. It's still only April. Okay. And, if you were a farmer, right now what you'd be doing is just clearing the field. You would just be clearing the field. So that's what we should be doing, people. Clear the field of your life. Let's get rid of all the debris from last year. Let's start burning it, putting it in a pile, getting rid of it. And we're going to get ready by about May 12th to start really planting those seeds out in the world. Now, one of the most wonderful things is that we now have this vaccine, which I have had both doses. So with my health issues, COVID would have been certain death for me. I have so many autoimmune issues that if I'd gotten this, it would kill me. So that was very important for me, not only for me, but to protect me from you, from other people, so that I don't get you sick or my family, so that was a giant thing to take off the table because now, judiciously, we're going to be able to try and get back out in that world, weather permitting, for, events and things like that. So it's been very hard to create any type of a structured plan because it's not time yet. So if we're farmers and our life is the farm, this is a time of really finishing last year and getting that ground ready for planting seeds. So what I did, because, we like control over stuff. So I made a list of things that I need or would want going out into the world. What can, in the little windows of parameters that we're allowed to exist in, what can I do rather than focusing on what I can't do? So I decided I was at Walmart, my favorite place. Okay. I was over at Walmart and they had lawn chairs on sale. So I bought 2 lawn chairs and I bought a folding table that I keep in my car, that I can just keep in my car. So I can set up a little get together mobily, so I can go sit in a parking lot or in a park and we can all get together and, have a little bit of a gathering, as weather permits. And I'm very spontaneous. So, I might just post on Facebook or Instagram or on Twitter, hey, I'm going to be here, if you can meet up, I'm going to have some structured things as well. Like I said, the challenge is logistics and where to do those things at. I've been very blessed to have some friends who are willing to, let me use their space to do this until I can secure a space of my own. So, I've got, lovely Maria from the Three Girls Cupcake. She has a wonderful patio in Berea right on the square. So that's a great place. I'll be doing some workshops and all kinds of other things. So I'm really looking forward to being out in the world. So this is a time of really stopping and saying, okay, this is, as I navigate back out in the world, what do I really want? What are my talents? How am I using those? Am I in situations that are honoring my talents? So this is a wonderful time. I've seen so many people during this last year change jobs, get divorced, get in relationships. I mean, really just stop and really look at their lives and really just start, coming to a place of grieving and finishing a lot of stuff. And now they're just happy going, wow, look at me. And who am I? After all these years, after all of that, who am I? And that's really kind of what we're doing is our purpose, my friends, is every experience you've had. Every experience you've had is like a color in a painting. And when you put them all together, you get a much more holistic perspective of who you are. It's a one of a kind, and so hopefully we're learning to be authentic, not really giving a shit what people think about us. And, and although I do have a responsibility to be my best version because who I am all affects somebody, whether it's my kid or my family or you, that I have a responsibility to myself to be my best version because who I am affects other people. You affect other people. You affect me, And as you can see, people who don't really care about how they affect other people, run through this world leaving carnage and destruction behind them. And that's not what we do. We get accountable so that we can all survive, all thrive. That's the goal, is to, come together and make it a better world and love each other, love each other. So anyway, so that's my soapbox for tonight. But let me see who's on here. And if you guys have any questions, I can do a little channeling for you tonight. So let me tell you, the last week in sleeping has been awful, but I have been having some very crazy dreams. So I do have a dream class once a month. Okay, if you guys go onto my website, there's a list under events and classes. I have a dream interpretation class once a month. I also would highly recommend you guys start taking the Defining Your Relationships class. All these classes are booked. They're all on the calendar monthly. So they're like the third Sunday of every month, or they're always on a Sunday. And hopefully we'll be doing them in person as the weather starts to get better. I'm really looking forward to that. Yes. And May 12th is Mother's, or is it the 9th this year? Mother's Day. Well, May 12th is like that's the day we don't. So Sarah's asking, what happens May 12th? Well, May 12th it's not the 12th, it's just Mother's Day time. Is usually here in Ohio, we're not under threat of frost anymore, so we can start planting things. So when we look at those shifts in seasons and that timing thing, what I'm saying is that if you haven't cleaned off your field, okay, you want to do that now. Because we're going to start planting things and we're going to start moving out into, that planting time. Okay. And I mean that, literally and figuratively. Okay. So what are we planting? I mean, you got to get out the seeds, you got to get out the tools, you got to clean off the road, and then what do we really want to plant out there without, going back into spinning 1,000 things at once? We want to get selective about what we want to plant. What do I want to plant out there? So for me, getting a space, getting together, finding safe ways to connect and get together physically are very important to me. And so, yeah, so those are some of the things that I reflect on. And what have I learned about this? Well, I've learned that, there's also boundaries and limits to what I can and can't do. And I have to get clear with myself about what those are, what I'm willing to do and what I'm not willing to do, and not let fear or other people's need push me into doing things that aren't necessarily what's best for me or them. So I have to be able to, do that. So anyway, yeah, so May 12th is not like a date set in stone. but that's about the time when the threat of frost is over and you can start planting your annual plants, just so you know, because they don't handle cold weather and snow well, so they're not hardened off. So you know. So anyways, that's that date. That's what that's really about. So hi everybody, Jacqueline, Kathy, Brad and Anthony. Don't know which one it is. They share a page. Hey Robert. Oh my God. Robert, I'm telling you, I almost came down to Mississippi this week. I saw the Juke Joint Festival going on, and I was so mad I was not there. And I almost got in the car and drove down there. We miss it down there so much. Hey, Angelica. Anyway, if anybody wants a little spot reading real quick, I can channel whoever's coming through for you. So yeah, I mean, there's just so many aspects of my life that, what's important to me and what do I really value and where can I use my talents, my strengths out in this world. So I have a page on my Facebook that's called Of Village Volunteerism. Okay. So I want to create some volunteerism events. I want us to be able to get together and go serve somewhere. And I know, most people aren't used to necessarily serving, and it's a little challenging right now. But what I would challenge you guys to do, because not everybody who follows me lives here, okay? I have people all over the country and out of the country that follow me. So how can you serve from where you are, regardless of where you are? Now I have to tell you guys, Ohio has more nonprofits than anywhere else in the country. Okay. We have these urban settings. We have a lot of social services. We have all kinds of, outreach programs that are available. There's 1,000,001 nonprofits here in Ohio. And so wherever you live, there is an opportunity to serve on some level and whatever capacity speaks to you. Like for me, I'm all about helping people. Some people like to help animals. Some people like to help the environment. And if everybody just kind of found a way to serve in their calling, um, and just go out and do it yourself or look somebody up and see who's already out there doing those things. Schedule a cleanup group in your neighborhood. There's a million ways to take the focus off your own life and notice and be part of change in your communities or change helping people that are helping in your communities. There's a million ways to do that. And so I'm going to be creating some volunteerism events. Like I want to take up a donation for personal care products and things like that we can take, non-perishable things that your food card doesn't buy. And I want to, go drop those off at some of the places that I volunteer at. So or the places that have the most need right now. So if you guys want to call those places, get on a Village Volunteerism and write down, I called Stella Maris and this is what they need, and just post it on there so that we know and we get this running list of things that we can do or places we can go and what their wish list is and their need list is so that we can blast that. And we'll set up situations where either people can go drop it off directly to them or together we'll collect all those things and do one giant drop off. Or we can even do a giveaway, where we find a church somewhere and we just, kind of open the trunk and just, let people take what they need. So there's a million ways to do this, but I'm only one person. So where do you use your talents, your resources to create these events, these fun things that you can do where you can use your talents out in the world. So, there's all kinds of things. Like I have a lot of friends who are retired teachers, tutoring. There's a couple of places that are looking for people to do, help people get their GED or some of those things that are going on. So, all of your experiences are what we use to serve. I'm very crafty. And I love doing art and craft projects with people at the sober houses. I do them with post-prison release people. I used to do them down at Oriana House. Just making crafts. Because it wasn't about the craft. It was about communicating and talking and sharing. And so it wasn't just about the craft we were making. It was about connecting with people and giving them hope, and, getting engaged with them. For me, that's, watching people get inspired is like, it fuels my fire. Okay. So yeah, so it's not about the art project. It's just about connecting and being of service and being unconditional. So, that's not for everybody. Okay. Some people can't work in those environments. But whatever your talent is, where can that be utilized? Where can that be utilized? So finding our purpose really is based in our life's experiences. Who better than you to understand how somebody feels or what they're going through? So think about, what would you want somebody to do for you if you were in that situation? And it doesn't have to be some huge monetary investment. Sometimes it's just a phone call. You don't even have to leave your house to do some of this stuff. So, but you got to get creative and look at, where can your talents be utilized out in this world, and there are some classes which is called spiritual boot camp, where we go through and do a life resume so that we can kind of look at what you're being groomed for. So, it's so much fun to discover who you are, but you have to look at your strengths, guys, not just your weaknesses. You can't just look at, I'm, late, like I'm procrastinate. Okay, well, that's a character defect that we can work on. But what are your strengths? It's so easy to criticize ourselves, but what is it that's beautiful about you? Recognize the beauty in yourself. And in a critical world, that's very hard to do. It took me a very long time to notice my strengths, not just my weaknesses. So, and I did that with encouragement from other people who told me about my beautiful aspects. One time I asked my friends to describe me. Now, mind you, this is like it was like Moon Lodge. Okay, so it was like 30 people. I said, I want you guys all to write down what you think of me. Good, bad, or otherwise. I want to know. And I have to tell you, these letters made me cry. They saw things in me that I absolutely did not see in myself. And I have to say, it took a lot of courage, but I didn't want to live under an illusion of who I thought I was. I really wanted to know how people perceive me. And, and it was beautiful. It wasn't awful. There were some things, but it was all done in love. It was all done with the love of truth. And again, we can't change what we can't acknowledge, but 99% of it was just so positive and beautiful, and it was not what I expected. And I was so surprised by that. But I have to tell you, it was a game changer. So yeah, ask your family, ask your friends, just give me a letter about how you perceive me and what you think about me, and you'll be shocked at the results. I mean, really, how often do we do that for each other? So anyway, so yeah, you guys got any questions? So I'm telling you, I had the weirdest dreams this week. Crazy dreams. I slept like maybe 4 or 5 hours a night since that new moon. And again, a lot of things are shifting. A lot of things are going on behind the scenes spiritually, guys. As much as it looks like chaos and destruction out there, I'm telling you, there are amazing things manifesting in the background. So that's why we got to have faith and just trust that the universe is at work, and we got to do our part. We're either part of the problem or a part of the solution. Okay. So I want you to gauge it like that. Is my opinion, is this helping? Is this making it worse? How can I be a catalyst for change? And, like I said, it's been broken a long time, and blame is lack of ownership. And it didn't get like this overnight, and it's not going to get better overnight. But we got to stop pointing fingers and start finding the people that are part of the solution and align with them, and start, using our energies for building, building new things, and supporting the people that are out there doing it. So not everybody's a leader. Yes, please. Okay, Catherine Ann. So, there's things, guys, that are diversions, okay? we all have diversions because we don't want to do some of the other stuff. Okay. So your grandma's laughing at you, Catherine. She wants you to, she says, if you really want to do something proactive and productive, go clean your car. Clean your car out. I don't know what she's talking about. See, those are the little things that manifest stuff, guys. I know this sounds stupid. When you look at your life and all the things you have, everything you have, you manifested. Everything you have, you acquired, and it's a blessing, okay? And how we take care of those things tells the universe if you're honoring those blessings, because we still want more. We always want more. Want, okay? So the universe looks and it goes, we give you a car and this is how you take care of it, okay? And so your grandma's like, and you're so distracted by all this other stuff that we have no control over, so make a list. Things I'm avoiding that I need to just finish it. The devil is in the detail. Okay, and the minute you clean your car, something amazing is going to happen. Okay, so, and I don't even know if it's about your car. That's what she's telling me. If you wanted to go do something, clean your car out. Because you don't know why, just go do it. So we have all these unfinished dumb things that seem trivial, but they add up. So when you make a list of all the things you've been avoiding or all the little detail things that just need to be finished, just finish them, because you're telling the universe that you're accountable when you do that. Okay? So that's funny. So Catherine, your grandma says clean your car. You're distracted with bullshit that you're not in control of. And there's things that you should be doing. That's so funny. Hold on. She's like old school. I don't know if she had a thing about cleaning or broom. Anyway, she's showing me she's sweeping with a corn broom. Corn bristle broom. I don't know if she's a clean freak or what, but anyway, that was very funny. She's very cute. Okay, Christy, I'd love to hear your dream because so when we dream of people that have passed away, imagine that when you're sleeping, you actually leave your body and you go backstage because you're going back there going, okay, guys, what do I need to know? What's going on? What is all this about in my human world? And they're like, okay. And they show it to you in a picture, okay, in a movie because you don't have your body. So you can't hear, you can't speak. You just know what's being said and you're getting the message through the interaction. So when people are in your dream that are passed away, that is them. Now, what they're wearing, how they're behaving, all of the scene, that's all you, okay? They're just showing up. So usually the message is very simple. So I would love to know how that went with her in the dream time. Because, guys, that's the easiest way for humans to get messages from the other side is dreaming. So again, if we're not sleeping right, then we're not going to dream. And then, we have to sit with that dream and decipher it because the whole thing is symbolic. So once you understand the symbolism of dreams, which is what I teach in that dream interpretation class, and how to sleep better, and understand these cycles that keep us from sleeping, then you're going to get a better handle and feel more refreshed, wake up more rested, and you're going to feel like you know what the hell you're doing. So yeah, I love that. Hey, Patty, I was just thinking about you today. Becca and I were talking about the herb store. God, I missed that. Hey, Christina. So Lynette says, this is good, Marianne. Helping others helps us heal too. It does, because it takes our focus off of it takes the focus off ourself. And then, again, we are helping ourselves when we're helping others because we're all bits of each other. We're all the same. We like to think that we're different. In fact, in Native American religion, they see the life as a wheel with thousands of spokes. And they believe that when we come into this lifetime, we're standing on a spoke. And on the spoke directly across from us is the opposite. So if you're standing in wealth, the man across from you stands in poverty. And this is why the finger that points out points three back, because we never judge the man across from us harshly. Because in a turn of that wheel, when we leave and come back, we could very well be him. And how would we want to be treated when we're standing in that place? So it's a beautiful teaching. So yes, this time I picked this body, this set of circumstances, but there may be and has been or will be a time when I stand on that other spoke. And how would I want people to love me when I'm there? So yeah, we all have an obligation to see each other as, we're all part of God. We all have a God light. Even the broken people, somebody did that to them. I'm not going to invite them home with me, but compassion is just comes from a place of understanding. So yeah, right. Hey, Marcus, I heard you're husband of the year. You're awesome. You have a brother? Lack of ownership. Yeah, blame. Write this down. Blame is lack of ownership. When we're blaming other people, we're not taking ownership for how we allowed that or what part did we play in that. I spent my whole life doing that. Oh my God. Hey, Lisa. She was a clean freak. Oh, I know, girl. She's got this broom. It looks like a witch's broom almost, like the old fashioned corn broom, but round. Anyway, she's sweeping. So yeah. So yeah, she's not proud of your car. That's pretty funny. Okay, Angelica. There's a man like grandfather here. Uh, he goes, I'm her grandpa. And he's waving like this. Hold on. So, oh, this is funny. Okay, so what he's saying is that he's trying to inspire you to have courage. Okay, so it's very funny because one day I asked for courage. I said, Dear Lord, just give me courage. Well, I have to tell you, every scary effing thing that I needed to have courage for showed up that week. And I realized, oh my God, I am never going to ask. I am courageous. Okay. I don't have to ask for that. And so, again, we don't realize what we're projecting. Okay. But he just wants you to know that you are courageous. You are a badass. You are, you got to trust yourself. I have to tell you, I just know stuff. Okay. And very rarely is the universe wrong. Okay. They're never wrong. Okay. And I'm just saying, sometimes I just know there's no concrete evidence. I just trust my knowing and I go do what I'm told. Okay. I go with my instinct of I stop and go, what do I need to do? What's the highest and best thing in this moment? And I go do it. And it always turns out amazing. Always. Okay. And so, yeah, you got to just trust that knowing, Angelica. You are brave and you are strong, but you've got to stop, dumbing down. Okay. Because that's an act. And, isn't it funny how we all learn how to do that? Oh, I can't do that. So somebody else will come along and do it. But that makes you dependent. Okay. Yeah. You got to trust yourself. You know what you're doing. Anyway, Grandpa's helping you. He's poking you in the butt, trying to get you to, yeah, stop putting yourself down. Even if you have to look in that mirror every single morning and go, I am a survivor. I am resilient. This is why I want you guys to write down your strengths, your talents. And I want you to look at yourself in that mirror and remind yourself of who you are. I am resilient. I am faithful. I love people. Whatever your strengths are, my talents, and remind yourself about that. Anyway, Grandpa's your helper. That's so funny. Yeah, dreams have been, because we're kind of stuck right now, and so the dreams are very frustrating. So, yeah, I've just had some bizarre ones myself. Sarah says, I feel that this year, existing, not living. Well, yes, but it's also uncovered. This is interesting. Most people are on this hamster wheel. routine things that we feel like we're living. We feel like getting up, going to work, interacting with, humanity, coming home, making dinner, that's living. Okay. That is existing. Okay. And now that we're still, we find out that we've not nurtured our habits. We haven't nurtured our talents. We haven't nurtured our, the things. So without the hamster wheel, who am I? I mean, when was the last time you read an actual book? When was the last time that we sat down and colored or spent time laying on the ground outside and looking for bugs with our kids? I mean, you know, that's the stuff that's life's made of, is memories and experiences. And so when was the last time we really stopped and slowed down and really lived, really thought about what does that mean? You know, so again, that's what we're all navigating through. But yes, this year has been existing on so many levels, and we're all just trying to find this little semblance of normal out there. But this is a great time to really just say, what's the rush? Where do I have to go? I can read a book. I can take an hour and read a book. I can read a magazine. Oh, I love magazines, by the way, guys. So I went to the store one day and I bought like 5 magazines. I love reading those damn things cover to cover with my coffee. I know that sounds stupid. But yeah, I mean, I love pages and turning pages and reading. I do that, and that's and we shouldn't call those guilty pleasures. I mean, for me, reading takes me to a whole nother place. It's a place of imagination and visualizing, and I love it. So anyway, yes, we have done a lot of existing, but this is a wonderful time to really, now that we have a little wiggle room of time. And it's really funny. I have people who now use COVID as a reason not to see some people. They're like, oh, thank God I don't have to see them all the time. So it's been a wonderful thing to set boundaries. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't come over, COVID, COVID. So it's helped people really kind of, put people in, compartments, which I thought was hilarious. I've heard a couple of people doing that. Made me laugh. Oh, I always joke about that, Lynette, is we're always manifesting. The universe is just waiting for you to want, and you say, well, I'm this or I'm that, or, and they send it. You've manifested everything in your life. How's that going? Not you, but the collective us. What are we doing? If we change what we think and how we speak, and really, I know that a lot of people haven't been raised with any type of spiritual understanding, or like I was raised with religion. It was very, very traumatic. And that was not, to me, what God was. Okay. And so developing that divine connection to the God of your understanding, the divinity of, the higher power, the something that's bigger than you, that you can trust. Okay. Because humans are flawed. Not that I don't trust people, but I trust the universe implicitly. So, yeah, it's something that loves you even when there's nobody around, and learning how to let go of the fear and the need to control everything and surrender that to something bigger than you. That takes practice. Okay. But every time you do and you let go, amazing things happen. It all works out, whether you're clinging on to it or trying to micromanage it. But if you just let go of it, it's going to find its course without you. There's something bigger at work behind the scenes on that. So who else we got here? Okay, Sarah, your mom's here. So she wasn't very good at cooking or domestic stuff. However, she wants to. So when we're doing things like cooking, or we're making mom's apple pie, or when we get these ideas that are given to you that pop in your head, you're like, oh, apple pie. Mom used to make apple pie. Well, that's mom going, hey, let's bake together. Okay. So I don't know what's been going on lately, but your mother wants you to just stop and spend some time with her in that meditative place of cooking, okay, or baking or whatever it is that you've been inspired to do. Because that you know, dreaming at night is what we call dreams, but dreaming while you're awake or daydreams, okay, are actually visions. And that's part of how I do the work I do. So if we don't enter that meditative place by cooking and keeping ourselves busy while we remember and we are hanging out with mom at that moment. So she said, you got to brush up your culinary skills, and she wants to help you, which is funny because I don't feel like she's really good at it. Oh, that's so funny. Okay, Denise, this is you for you. So there's a woman like mother here, and I don't know if your mom's passed, but she wants you to know she's with a woman like sister. So I don't know if that's her sister or your sister. She goes, we're fine. She said, oh my God. Normal's relative, and you got to get out of your environment. Okay, there's a bigger world than where you're at, and you need to expand your perspective. Okay, I feel like there's some tunnel vision going on because if all you see is this, it's kind of like a keyhole effect, and when you step away, you see the bigger picture. So I feel like you need to change your perspective by changing where you go or who you hang out with. But she said that you have a limited perspective right now, so I don't know what she's talking about. So we need to expand your perspective. If I can help with that, again, let me know. If you guys want to talk about this more, you're welcome to book a session with me. Right now, they're still only $60 an hour. And that way we can really, get into it because I can't really, this is very one-sided doing this way. So she's talking about everything isn't what you think it is. So when people have passed away pop in your head, that's actually her coming to you. So it's not you thinking of her, it's her coming to you. She's waving. And she just wants you to know they're fine. So imagine we're on the space station and they're at NASA. And we're worried about them. They're home. We're the ones that are out here winging it. She's with you. I have to tell you, Lynette. Lynette is talking about having a procedure. One of the most spiritually active places is a hospital and a nursing home. Okay, because everyone in there is having an experience, and they all have an entourage with them that are supporting them through that experience. Okay, so even when people are alone, like I've had so many people whose person was in with COVID who either made it or died, but they were so scared because they were alone. Trust me, nobody in that hospital is alone. From the patient in the room to the nurse in the room to the physician or the surgeon, everybody's got helpers. I mean, a hospital is like standing room only when it comes to spiritual support. Like for every person you see, there's 5 other dead people and spirit things and angels that are helping. Okay, so nobody's ever alone. And so when you go under anesthesia, you know, your people hold the energy for you while you're not in your body. So, yeah, you're not going in there by yourself, friend. Okay. And we're all going to put you in a prayer box and we're going to pray for you. So I hope your procedure goes well. But you know what? It's all good. It's all good. Taking care of yourself is very important. Hey, Tracy. God, I miss my music friends. My son Jared's musical career started when he was so young. And I had to go with him to navigate through all that. And oh my God, what an education. What an education. And, I miss hanging out with all those creative people. We know musicians all over the country. And I know we're just missing that so much. And I miss all you guys. Tracy Marie is a fantastic musician here in Cleveland. So if you ever get a chance to go see her, look her up. So is Robert Kimbrough. Robert Kimbrough, his father was Junior Kimbrough, who's a very famous blues man, and I love going down there to Mississippi and seeing those guys. So if you get a chance to look up Robert Kimbrough and his dad, Junior. There's been documentaries made. He's an amazing man. Hill Country Blues. All right, kids. Who else we got here? I'm trying to scroll through. I apologize. Okay, Catherine Restivo. So I don't know if you had a brother that passed away or a man like a brother, but there's a younger man here, and he's just waving at you to let you know he's there. So he's a peer to you. So I don't know if he's a friend or your age or uh, I don't know the relationship. But anyways, younger man, and he's waving at you. He's, oh my God. He goes, "You're so full of shit." So if we're talking it, we're not walking it, what does that make us? A hypocrite. Okay. And everybody knows we're full of shit but us. Okay. So, anyways, he said, whatever you're talking about lately, you need to put your money where your mouth is or get behind what you say you're going to do and go do it. Because, oh my God, that's so funny. I don't know who this guy is to you, but he's very funny. He's like, yeah, bullshit. He's very funny. Oh my God, that's funny. Hold on. And he's almost like introducing a man. So he's letting me know that I don't know if this man's your dad or grandpa, but he's like, he's getting out of the way to let this man come up. And this man's like, I've not done this before, he said to me. I go, it's okay. See, they're not used to talking and being heard. Like they're in your house, but you don't even know they're there. Hold on. He goes, we're always helping. Even if you can't put a label on a divine, then, we've got ancestors and relatives who've taken this trip who are over there pulling for you. So if you can't have faith in some divine being, then have faith in grandpa or have faith in the soul that was your grandfather who's constantly in our life helping us out. We have ancestors and angels and all kinds of things that are working in our benefit. Just so you guys know, nobody out there completely and utterly trusts what they're doing or knows what they're doing. Okay? So this is why you can't compare yourself to other people. Okay? Everybody's faking it till they make it out there, people. Okay? From the CEO all the way down to the guy who sweeps the floors. Okay? Nobody has a handle on and are confident about who they are and what they do. You can't screw it up. The bigger failure is never trying. Okay? So, why not you? Why not you? Because it has to be you. Your talents, your uniqueness, you're being called to these things. And, none of us feel good enough. I don't feel good enough. Okay? But I know that, there's a lot of people who are doing the wrong thing, who are out there flying their flag and hurting people and killing people. I mean, they've got the balls to be out there. Why not you? Okay? And me, right? Right. So yeah. Don't let insecurity stop you from being a leader and speaking up and doing something out in this world that's great. Not everybody's built to be a leader, but somebody has to go first. You don't have to lead, but you have to take the initiative. So, if I can inspire you guys in any way doing that, that's what I try to do. This is why I go live. I'm not doing this to show you the good things that I do in the world. I do it to inspire you to do it yourself. If Marianne Goldweber can be out there hugging people or, serving, well, shit, I can do that. I don't do it to promote myself. I do it to inspire people. So, yeah, I love doing those things, and so I want you to love doing those things too, because it's an absolute return. When you do things unconditionally, the universe, sees that, yeah. Why not you? If that idiot over there can be doing it, so can you. Haven't you ever done that? Watch people on television, and you're like, I could have been an actress. That goofball's up there making $1 bazillion. But you know what the difference is? He went for it. He went for it. I know a lot of not super talented people who have risen into fame because they had the audacity to try. And then I know these super talented people whose crippling insecurity keeps them from ever being heard or seen or great. It's fascinating. That's why we have to lift each other up and encourage each other. So we all have a talent. We've all of our talents have not always been born from the good things that have happened to us. They've also been born from some of the bad things that have happened to us. And that's the fuel in my furnace. That's the things that make me risky. Those are the things that make me compassionate to other people. And this is why I don't give a shit about rules, all the rules, because, I don't trust all the rules, because, they don't work. So, we got to get into good trouble, like John Lewis said, but again, we're all being called, but answer the call. And if you are scared, have faith and know that, I'm going to create some events and hopefully come join us or mirror them wherever you live. If I'm going to go to a homeless shelter and drop off blankets, have a drive and drop off blankets at your homeless shelter in your area. There's lots of ways to mimic what we're doing, no matter where you live, no matter where you are, and that's why I try to educate you guys on how it works out there so that you don't feel so vulnerable or afraid to step into areas that you don't know anything about. So anyway, what else we got going on here? All right, I'm going to wrap up, guys. Yeah, our purpose. I don't know what you mean, Sarah. See, sometimes, guys, when I'm channeling for you, it doesn't make sense right now. It'll make sense like 3 days from now. And you'll be like, oh, Uncle Bob, that's who that was. Right? No, you're the best, Tracy. I miss you guys. I'm telling you, live music, the music is an inspiration that comes through people and their talent. And that's divine. Jared and I did a video where we were talking about that inspired place where the zone, that's where I channel from. That's where musicians play from. That's where music comes from. That's where art comes from, and, the arts are such a powerful thing. We need that. We need to be inspired by live music and by going to art galleries and by, expressing ourselves creatively in some way. I don't give a shit if you finger paint. Okay, just do it. There's a liberation that comes with creating. There's a freedom that comes with it. It's something that comes through you, not from you. And so you don't have to be good at it. Just do it. And, and you'll find yourself getting inspired in the midst of that. So yeah, what's your purpose? Whatever you want it to be. My purpose is born of my talents, and, people used to tell me when I was a kid, this is so funny. I was raised with some very unhappy people. I mean, they used to tell me, stop being so happy. I mean, really, as a kid, you're too happy. What do you have to be happy about? Oh my God, I was so little joyful butterfly, okay? Now I don't give a fuck. I fling that glitter everywhere, okay? Because you know what? My people could not be happy because they were suffering and miserable, but they were choosing it. They chose suffering. And then were mad at me for being joyful, which I found fascinating. Anyway, I've never let anybody try to dim my shine. Okay, just saying. I'm just autistic enough to not give a shit. Okay, and so I'm the burr under a lot of people's saddle. My energy it screws them up. I'm like gasoline. I can start your car, blow up your house. When I show up, shit happens. It's just how it is. And that's just my energy. And again, a lot of people can't stand it. Some people want to, just suck it up with a straw. But, that is my superpower, my ability to influence people with my energy. Now, we can use that for good or we can use that for evil. It's just how you use it. But that is my greatest strength is my ability to meet people where they stand, and being joyful. I am very joyful. Yeah, it's one of my superpowers, people. So anyway, thanks for inspiring me tonight. You guys have been a blast. I love hanging out with you. And just stay tuned because I've got some announcements coming up, but we got to wait for the weather to break and I've got to set some things up. But if you guys, see anywhere for lease or rent, or you want me to be your neighbor, or, I need a little property, maybe a little, not, I just don't want neighbors up my ass, okay? Anyway, I love being of service in communities that are developing and not in the inner city anymore. I can't do that anymore, but physically. But yeah. So anyway, I'm just putting it out to the universe. So I'm ready. I'm looking forward to being with all of you again. And so yeah, how can we help this evolution in our world? Just by going first. So thanks for joining me tonight. Signing off. I hope you guys have a really great week, and I'll definitely see you next Wednesday. Same place, same time. So thanks so much. Take care of each other. God bless.